Well, 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 if it isn't my former guild master Asmongold. Not gonna lie, ever since I got kicked from Indestructible, kinda had it coming to ya. Allow me to be petty for one video. Kinda been wanting to talk about this for a while. The whole situation about me getting kicked from Indestructible. But I've learned something about you, Asmon. Something that's quite shocking and full of scabs, if I say so myself. I know who you really are. How do I know this? Done some little bit of internet sleuthing. All that fun stuff. But enough of this foreplay from old Scurvy. Time to see who you really are behind all that AI touch-ups. Why, it's none other than Chase Wilkins! Yeah, I'm calling you out, motherfucker! I know it's you the whole time! No wonder why you trash-talked about everyone else! No wonder why some of your takes came off to me as insane! You're insane, Marty! You're insane, Chase! I don't know why I called you Music Bitch Marty for a second. It's just instinct. But in reality, this was your face. I caught it live on stream, and I took a picture of it on my computer when you said that Scurvy is no longer an Indestructible, and your audience jacked off to that shit. This was you, Chase. You need to quit! That smug smile and your stupid fucking snaggletooth! You need to quit, you smug motherfucker! You need to quit! Also, I don't care how much money you make on Twitch, bitch! At the end of the day, it all goes back to Sally and Ed. Ed needs that money for his perk 30s, motherfucker! And Sally, honestly, I don't really know what Sally needs the money for. I'm telling you the truth, man. Trust me when I say this, man. But most importantly, this next picture is the picture you sent me when I got kicked from the guild by that pussy-ass officer. You sent me this. Your tongue out and your two middle fingers in the air. We had a deal, you scumbag. I did my part. Why'd you kick me from the guild, bitch? Why? Alrighty, I think that's enough of me raxing out here. Let's get to the actual video, shall we? Around the time I started getting into World of Warcraft, that's when I first discovered his channel, and you know, he made some pretty good videos. Some guides that I needed to see and to hear, and also gave some updates about the next expansion that was coming out at the time, which was Legion. Also around that time, he was actually pumping out content consistently too. He didn't just stream on his Twitch, he also made YouTube videos, which I found to be pretty cool. I had more ways than one to watch him. I gave his YouTube channel a subscription, and with my recently made account for Twitch, I also gave him a follow on there. Back in 2015-2016, when creators could actually be themselves without being punished, I liked Asmongold's aggressive personality and the fact that he would insult people that were bad at the game. I found that to be particularly funny. That's something that I've actually adopted while I was still playing the game. But unlike me at the time, when I basically sucked at the game, he was actually pretty good at it, and still is good at the game. He also inspired me to become better at the game too, and wouldn't you know, the advice that he gave, not to me personally, but through his videos, actually helped me accomplish a lot in my time in the game. My favorite video on his channel has to be the Battle for Azeroth review he made a while back in like 2018 when the expansion first came out. The complaints that he had were very similar to the complaints that I had, and so, well, I resonated with the video. I did not like island expeditions. I did not like the fact that my character was so weak, and I also didn't like the fact that the story is not really there. In 2018, when I was a freshman in college, if I wasn't watching Mumkey Jones, anime, Filthy Frank, iDubbbz, or Max Mofo, I was most likely listening to an Asmongold VOD, or watching some of his content. At the time, he also gave some pretty good suggestions as to how the game can be fixed. Like, I didn't agree with everything he said, but I was certainly paying attention to what he had to say, and more often than not, he was actually right about the issues. And here's the best part. A lot of these solutions that Asmongold asked for were actually implemented into the game, one way or another, primarily in the next expansion, Shadowlands. It was actually around that time when the expansion came out that I was really enjoying the game. I really liked the story, I really liked how my character played. If you want to hear my opinion about the expansion, I've made like a 3-hour long review of it that's split up into 2 parts. You could go check it out on my channel. But the thing is, I saw in real time this man start complaining about the changes that he wanted in the game. You could say something about execution of those changes, that's fair. Regardless, the changes were made, and Asmongold was still complaining. In 2021, I switched realms from Fenris to Kel'Thuzad, mainly because of the fact that I was tired of playing on a dead realm. While I was filling out guild applications through the guild finder, I actually managed to find Asmongold's guild. I thought, I'll just throw an application in for the hell of it. I did not expect to get in, but I guess having 2.2 Mythic Plus score for the time is actually pretty good. While I was in the guild, I got along with a lot of the people there. I didn't always agree what they had to say, especially when we started talking politics, but when we were playing the game, we were a cohesive team, even if I got drunk more often than not. Hey, We Dance, if you're watching this, I've actually cut back on my drinking like I told you I would. It was also Indestructible that actually got me to make these videos. I was going through a bit of a slump at the time, and they actually recommended to start a YouTube channel, and that's what I did, and so that's how this channel exists today. But honestly, it's really true. People do change a lot from year to year. I would know. April 15th, 2023. That's the day I got kicked out of the guild, because I made a video that ripped on one of the WoW community's gods. One of the officers of the guild didn't really like that video of mine, mainly because of the language that was being used and not the content of it. He especially didn't like it when the bisexual called someone else's desk lamp faggy. But funnily enough, a lot of what I said about Bellular also applies to Asmongold. I'll tell you this, the criticisms that I'm laying on Asmongold are not the same as in the Bellular video. And speaking of such, let's get to that section. In case you don't know, Asmongold is part of the Poachers community, which is basically the World Economic Forum of Twitch streaming. And what I mean by that is that it's an insanely nepotistic community, and if you're friends with them, you're gonna get big, I will tell you that. It's funny that I make that comparison, because they also have all the same opinions. Shocking. Something else the Poggers community loves to do is to do reaction content. And by reaction, I mean basically do nothing, maybe laugh, and not even really provide any meaningful insight on the video that they're watching. To give Asmongold some credit, he actually does engage with the material, he even reads the comments as well. But that's about as much praise as I could give his reaction content. The rest of it is just fucking lazy. I don't know how else to put it. I said it before and I'll say it again. First time reaction content, it's not really good. I prefer to watch the content before I start an episode of the ScurvyRum show. But these people, they kind of thrive off of first time reactions. Asmongold especially. He's known for some very fiery takes, and a lot of them now are not very good. In the past, Asmongold actually admitted that he used his audience as a weapon. Arguably still does, because that's something else the Poggers community loves to do. It's one thing to do a raid, because those can actually be pretty funny, like the ones Chronic does. The occasion that Chronic will send his audience after somebody is if they are legitimately defaming him, as in the case of Anthony Dream Johnson. But do you want to know why Asmongold sicked his audience like a bunch of rabid bloodhounds? It's because they had a different opinion on World of Warcraft than he did. But now that he's watching more than just gaming content, I wouldn't be surprised if Asmongold utilized his socially awkward audience to attack those who are also socially awkward. It's a weird form of hypocrisy that I just don't understand. This next topic that we're going to be going over is a pretty serious one. It has to do with S3 actual assault. Just to be clear, Asmongold did not do this. Asmongold did not do this. But to summarize the situation, one of Asmongold's friends, Mizkif, was accused of S3 actual assault. And do you want to know what Asmongold did as his friend, and then also as the owner of OTK, which Mizkif is a part of? I'll give you 3, 2, 1. Abso-fucking-lutely nothing! For a better overview of this situation, I've linked 2 videos from Glitch Poachers. He's a buddy of Manic, and he also covers lolcows far and wide. I highly recommend you check him out. But getting back to the topic at hand, Asmongold, you are one of the owners of OTK. You are responsible for the way that one of your employees acts. I understand hiring an investigator who is not involved in the situation, but it is also your responsibility as the owner, or one of the owners, I should say, to also do an investigation. To me, this ultimately comes off as poor ethical principles. Alrighty, let's ease the tension here a little bit by making things personal. Him going woke came to me as something so sudden, but at the end of the day, it kind of makes sense. Once he started hanging with the wrong people like Pokimane and the rest of the Poggers community, the change was gonna happen, and thus the cult-like community also changed with him, and that's a big reason why I got kicked out of the guild. So let's see why Asmongold is on Scurvy's shit list. So, it comes down to this. You were somebody I once respected as one of the greats in World of Warcraft, but as I started noticing the ugliness of your character as the years went on, I don't know, I just couldn't get behind you anymore. Honestly, out of everyone on the shit list, I'm kinda hoping that you'll change for the better. That's all I gotta say. Anyways, let's see who's next on the shit list. Well, that certainly was interesting. Let's see who's next. Oh my, this one is certainly going to be interesting. Out of all the people I've covered here so far, this one is probably the most well-known. Anyways, see you guys in the next one.